Maine Musik was becoming one of the hottest new rappers out of Baton Rouge before he got locked up on a gun case. He might be coming home soon though, and there's no telling what'll happen when he does. From getting shot and robbing dice games, to sending death threats at Donald Trump and getting interrogated by the Secret Service, this is the wild story of Maine Musik. Let's get right into it. Maine Musik came up in Baton Rouge and started rapping at a young age. But even though he knew he wanted to be a rapper, the dream didn't keep him out of the streets and he ended up with both feet in the trenches. A lot of rappers end up dropping out of high school eventually, but Maine was getting into so much trouble as a kid that he got expelled in 8th grade from all the local schools. But before he got kicked out, Maine met his homie Tech in middle school and they've been close as brothers ever since. Maine could have gone to school in a different county even after he got kicked out, but his mom couldn't afford to drive him there every day, so he just ended up chilling on the block with all the older dudes and getting deeper in the streets. In an interview with Say Cheese TV, Maine said he had a lot of fun running around with 2 guns at 14 years old and selling weed to bring money in. Maine spent a lot of time just writing bars and rapping on the block too. And when they were still teenagers, him and Tech started putting on shows in the local scene. They were inspired by dudes like Boosie Badass who came from the streets and used everything he experienced to make raw southern classics. Maine and Tech wanted to do the same thing in their own lane. They were both active in the streets, but at the same time, they were always working on their music too. It took a while for them to pick up any attention outside of Baton Rouge though, and the money was never good enough for them to take it full time. Maine tried working a legit job once, but it almost ended up getting him sent to prison. Maine's uncle ran a company that did flooring work in people's houses, and he hired Maine and one of his homies to help him out. They were going into houses people were still living in, but Maine thought they were abandoned and started stealing anything valuable while they were working. One day, when Maine and his homie jacked some stuff out of a house and put it in the work van, the people who lived there called up his uncle, tripping over the situation. They had to turn around and give everything back, and Maine's uncle actually came close to calling the cops on them. Maine's uncle decided not to press the issue, but he ended up in prison anyways. Besides selling weed, Maine also got money from shooting dice. You can't win every game though, and one time some dudes broke him for every dollar he had. Maine wasn't just gonna let them walk away with his money like that though, and he rolled back up to the spot and robbed everyone there. One of the dudes ended up snitching on Maine and got him locked up for 2 years, but at the same time, Tech was making moves in the industry. He linked up with Master P from No Limit and started learning how the game worked. And when Maine came back home, they went to California together to try and get the music popping for real. Maine says he learned a lot from watching how Master P moved, but the No Limit situation didn't end up working out for them. For a while, it seemed like Maine and Tech would never blow up like they wanted to, but in 2016, everything changed overnight. Tech and Maine dropped the track Ain't No Coming Down in 2016, but the song wasn't what put them in the headlines. At the beginning of the track, Maine sent shots at Donald Trump, and in another clip, he threatened to go to war with him after Trump criticized people on food stamps.
But I really want to go to war with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump trying to take food stamps from my mama, and that's all the he got. So you better stay the down. Look, long as the government let us keep food stamps in Sherwood, we gonna be good. But the first time this pass a law talking about he taking Louisiana Purchase, shit gon' get ugly.
But sending death threats at Donald Trump wasn't the best move. At the end of the video, Maine also said,
"We won't war, we gonna declare war." And I ain't worrying about ISIS, cause they just called me, they want me to with them now.
It was pretty clear that he was just joking, but sending threats at Trump and saying he was cool with ISIS had the cops knocking at his door the next day. They came through and checked to see if anyone in the Ain't No Coming Down video had warrants out for them, but they had to leave when everyone involved with the situation was good. That wasn't the end of it for Maine Musik though. That same week, the Secret Service brought him in for interrogation over the shots he sent at Trump. According to Tech,
I mean, with a $23,000 bond, they weren't serious.
No, they really wanted just to get him and let him know, like, don't say nothing else. Like they said this specifically, don't say Donald Trump name and war in the same